Hey everybody, quick little vlog here. Just got the GoPro Hero 3 and I wanted to show you the setup. It's essentially the same as my GoPro Hero 2, except that GoPro has changed a couple things. One of them is the way the mic plugs in. Okay, so this port is now the mic port, except that you'll see that's a USB mini B port. It's a mini B port. It's just like the one on the GoPro 2, really. Although they claim it's different, it's actually the same, because if you want to transfer files, you can use the same old cables and it works. So the problem is the flex mic and most mics have a 3.5 millimeter connector, which looks like this. Okay, you'll see that it's no longer on the GoPro. What they do is they sell you for 20 bucks. They sell you this cable, which goes from mini B to 3.5. The problem is, when you connect everything up, you have this extra length of cable, and there's no real elegant way to do anything with it. Okay, it's all connected up. So you see now you got this like dead weight. If you were to leave it loose, you got this dead weight. It's too short to really tie it up easily, and it's got this connector here, which is like 16 miles long. That should actually just be a right angle, and then this does not go into the helmet. It won't really stay. I mean, you got all this extra cable. It's just really stupid, really lame. GoPro should have probably thought that out a little better, because what they could have done is either come up with a better adapter, like a right angle, and this way there's a secure mounting point for flex mics. Or they could have actually come up with a flex mic that had the right connector, although, I mean, they're not interested in my peculiar setup, I know that. But this is just ridiculous. I mean, because if you're vlogging, it's just goofy. Anyway, that's my biggest gripe about the GoPro 3. So I gotta rig this up somehow with these gigantic non-flexing connector ends, which I hate. Other than that, the camera seems pretty good. I am annoyed about this change, but they said it's for better audio, but that doesn't really make sense because that's still a 3.5 millimeter connector. So it's not like we removed that from the chain. You know, all they've done is add this port, which is more of a universal port, but doesn't. It just complicates setups. Okay, more on that later. So here's the GoPro mounted up. I've zip tied this giant adapter cord, and you can see how ridiculous it is. See, it sticks out pretty much about as wide as the camera is. It's ridiculous. Hopefully we'll get some better audio. Alrighty, testing out the GoPro 3 for the first time. Well, on the bike. Got my normal flex mic set up, and I'm checking for audio differences since GoPro claims that the audio is better. I don't have any reason to not believe them, even though they made a terrible adapter cable, which is really annoying, but I already went over that in a separate little mini vid. Plus, I don't see a way to disable the Wi-Fi LED. So I'm just going to keep talking and riding. Okay, I do have a point to this vlog. Oh, I just installed an iPhone mount, a stem mount for my iPhone 4S, and this is going to replace a dedicated GPS that I would normally get. But those GPSs are like really expensive. $700 for the one I like. Yeah, that guy tried to race me. So I wanted to tell everybody, go vote unless you're Republican. Just kidding. Everybody go vote. This is Tuesday, November 6th. I wouldn't get that date wrong on you guys because, you know, it's too important. Double check it though, don't take my word for it. Just in case I'm in some parallel universe where it's different. Tuesday, November 6th. And you can say to your favorite political party, see you next Tuesday. Buzzatch. No, but yeah, go vote. And if you're a Democrat or a liberal, don't mother effing vote third party. Unless you're in a state where it's safe. But even then, if you're in a swing state and you vote third party, you are taking a giant risk. More than the risk, you are actually hurting the viable candidate who you would otherwise choose. And all I need to say to prove this is 2000 election. I'm old enough to remember that when Gore ran versus Bush Jr., it was Bush's first time trying to get in office, and Nader ran on the Green Party. Now look, I'm into green. I think green is good. But all the idealists that voted for Nader cost mother effing Gore the election, and we got our first 4 years of Bush, including Bush during a national crisis, 9/11. Okay, so it seems like a crazy thing to vote for someone who is slightly closer to your ideology and risk someone who's to the right of Attila the Hun. Thank you, Dennis Miller, for that reference. Why would you do that? I would never do that. Now, granted, I understand the need for more choice. I get that. I think we should have more choice. I'm also for the idea of a STV, not Stranglethorn Vale, you wow noobs. Single transferable vote. This means you can have a vote that goes for someone of your conscience who you want to get into office, and you can transfer that vote to another viable candidate who is not the person who thinks rape is another form of conception. At least that's the VP, Paul Ryan. Or who is against abortion or against reproductive choice or wears magic underwear. Okay, Mormons, don't get too upset at me. I like Mormons, believe me, I really do. Do I want a Mormon for president? Sure, if he's not an idiot. If someone was Mormon and they were progressive and fairly liberal, you know, I'd vote for that person. Woman, man, black, white, straight, gay, I don't care. I vote issues. I don't care about the person's religion so much because almost every president has been some kind of religion, except the forefathers were, some of the founding fathers were less religious, or they were universalists, essentially atheists, because in that time you couldn't just be an atheist, you get killed. And they were still burning witches long past the time of our founding fathers, simply for heresy or other imagined crimes. But what I'm talking about is someone's policies. Now, I don't want to make this too political just yet, because that's not the goal of this particular vlog. Believe me, I can get political later. Vote because you care about living in this country where the president appoints Supreme Court justices for life. For life. So go vote. Make yourself heard. And you know, it's not hard to vote, just go do it. If you don't know the issues on the propositions, well, I recommend you find some guides online that can help you with that. Ask some smart people, you know, because that doesn't matter as much. I mean, it matters at all. Everything matters. Everything counts in large amounts. But what matters is the presidency, because that affects, you know, you have the president himself, and you have the Supreme Court affected. So, do it. And if you vote third party in a swing state, you're just taking away votes from the viable person. Now, the thing is about third party is these candidates aren't viable. They're just not going to win. Even if every supporter of Gary Johnson or Jill Stein got out there, they wouldn't win. They would not win. So why do it? Why waste your vote? I mean, it's a symbolic gesture. It makes you feel good knowing that you voted for exactly who you want, even though it's not realistic. It's sort of like going on Santa's lap and wishing for a motorcycle. It may feel good, but it's not reality. That's not how you get a motorcycle. Okay, and if we want a different political system, we have to make that change. But you're not going to do it just by voting and then getting in the worst candidate possible, Mitt Romney. Now, if you're a Republican, the same goes for you. If you go vote third party, you're taking votes away from Romney in a swing state. These swing states are vitally important because of the Electoral College. They shouldn't be that important because we have a 50-state union. But unfortunately, they are important. They're more important than normal. Some states are pretty blue or pretty red. And even though I still think the general vote should reflect the best viable candidate, you know, it's less risky to vote third party in a solid blue or red state. I am not reckless with elections. I am not gonna play games with an election just because I want to get my exact choice on the ballot. Okay, so hopefully this GoPro held up in low lighting conditions. Go vote on Tuesday, November 6th. If you don't vote, you suck. You have no right to complain. If you vote third party in a swing state, you also suck. Unless you're a Republican. Then you're awesome. Yes, I'm a goddamn Democrat. If you haven't figured that out by now, you are not paying attention, sir or madam. I don't agree with every Democratic issue. I think Democrats sometimes deny reality, sometimes. I think sometimes they blame stuff like guns rather than people for crime, which I think is misguided. So I am pro Second Amendment. Except for like assault weapons. I don't see why civilians need assault weapons. But I suppose I can see some issues with stepping on the Second Amendment. You know, I could have an entire army at my disposal and I would not be murdering people. Likely I wouldn't even start a war. Okay, maybe I would mess with Kim Jong-un just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Go to North Korea and turn the lights on. That would mess with their heads. No, but really, I mean, I could have like a machine gun in my place, and I do. Just kidding. And I wouldn't be shooting anybody, because I don't have a reason to. If someone broke into my house, that'd be different. Some good things about the GoPro Hero 3. Supposedly better audio, supposed to be better video, better low light performance. What else? It's lighter and thinner. The greatest thing about the GoPro Hero 3, here's the greatest thing. Built-in Wi-Fi. The built-in Wi-Fi basically removes the need for a Wi-Fi battery pack or a Wi-Fi backpack, meaning your backpack can either be no backpack or I worded that badly. Your backpack can actually be a battery backpack, an LCD, or no backpack because it's all built in. And the GoPro 3 has a little button, a dedicated Wi-Fi button. So you turn that on, your Wi-Fi's on. And it draws off the same battery. So you only have one battery to manage, and that is awesome. Having separate batteries in the Wi-Fi backpack and the GoPro, that's a pain in the ass. I mean, you can just throw a battery pack on there, so you have a lot more battery power in less than the size of the GoPro 2 in a smaller package. So that's a great thing. Even if you're just getting the GoPro Hero 3 Silver Edition, which is essentially a GoPro 2 in a smaller package, that's still an advantage, still an upgrade because of the way the Wi-Fi is set up. Alright, over and out, YouTube.